Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review video of the Nextorch TA30C Max. Been really excited to get this one in the mail. I've just received it. Haven't even opened up the box yet. So we're going to be doing an unboxing and see what this flashlight has to offer. I was actually quite interested to get this one because I was looking at the TA30C, but the lumen output for me was just a little low for a flashlight of this size. It's still, it's an EDC flashlight. I'll use it as an EDC flashlight, but I'd want something with just a bit more of a boost considering what's out there in the market. So I think this is a really good balance between lumen output and also the amount of heat that the flashlight will produce. So this one actually, I think, comes with an XHP50.3 LED. It's a de-domed version, XHP50.3 HI, because I've never actually seen one in person. So as you can see, it's looks like a one-step strobe technology. So interesting nano ceramic window breaker. So you've got those 3 glass breaking beads as usual. And here on the side here, there's some little output information. So you've got FL1 standards as well, which is great. It's actually been properly tested. 3000 lumens, 70 lumens on low mode, and 38,025 candela on high, 900 candela on low, 2 meters underwater, and 2 meter drop resistance as well. 5-year warranty. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's also got this rotational magnetic switch. This is something I really like with the Nextorch flashlights. So you've kind of got this rotating switch that alters the particular modes if you want to switch from low to high to even strobe. I think I'll have to look inside and check. And then that one button on the back which you control the tactical mode and also the strobe mode. So and this is cool. You've also got this sort of you also got this cool button on the back that changes color, so it indicates the battery capacity. I wonder if it also functions as some kind of some sort of auxiliary light. As you can see here, light source Cree XHP50D high LED. So I actually had to look this one up, and this is the order number for the XHP50.3 high. So the brand new LED from Cree. So it's pretty much their high-end module, and it's designed a little bit more for throw. Beam distance 390 meters. Really happy to see that they've improved that. And I think that's to do, especially with the LED and the head size of this flashlight as well. High anodized, 153 millimeters long, and 38 millimeters for the bezel diameter, and 28 millimeters for the battery tube diameter. Runtime 2 hours 45 minutes. If you're new to my channel and you're watching for the first time, or maybe you've been watching a few of my videos and they've been helpful to you, please do me a favor, click the like button. And if you want to support my mission to create good quality reviews and content, do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything and really helps me out. Thank you. Nextorch have also included one of these FR2 tactical flashlight rings, and I actually have one on one of my other tactical flashlights already, but I find them to be quite useful. You can use these to sort of clip onto your pocket. It makes it very easy. As you can see, this guy here, this dude with the flashlight in the pocket, does stick out a little bit on the side, but it makes it very, very easy to just pull that flashlight out of your pocket and also hold it around. Things like hold on to other objects at the same time, so you're not having the light on the lanyard sort of flicking around all over the place. So it's a great little accessory that you can get with it. And just open it up and show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is it basically. The FR2 ring. It's made of nylon and stainless steel. Very well constructed. I think this can be used in all kinds of lights as well, just as long as the friction ring will fit it. There's actually, it does say something on here about what it fits. Yeah, so similar flashlight diameters between 25 millimeters and 27 millimeters. So can swap this one over later, but I'm actually happy that Nextorch have included their own ring on the flashlight itself. So some of the Nextorch lights don't come with the pocket ring. So yeah, this is good. All right, so this is what you get in the box. And you've got your Nextorch lanyard, you've got the USB-C charging cable, you've also got the instruction manual nicely assembled together. And one thing I really like about the Nextorch instruction manuals is that they are so simple. And it's just one page, just this one little page, as you can see here. And I'll go through this a little bit more later on down the track. But you know, there's not too much you need to read through in that. USB-C charging cable here. Good to have them include that. Oh, this one says Nextorch. That's new. I don't remember that on the last lights I received. And also the Nextorch lanyard. Okay. Good to have one of those with the flashlight. And the light comes kind of wrapped. It's packaged quite well, and the plastic insulates it nicely from any shock or drops and things like that on the way. So let's have a look. Let's see what's in the bag. Wow. Okay. This is new as well. There's a little instruction thing here saying, just telling you to remove the battery. Not battery, the insulation thing on the battery. And wow, this is amazing. The feeling of this light, I don't know how to describe it, but with a lot of these Nextorch flashlights, the anodizing is just second to none. I mean, it's so smooth, chalky, grippy, and has high level of durability. But I mean, just looking at the construction of it, you can't even see a nick of imperfection on there at all. And I think this is even more kind of a matte finish than their previous models. And I see also that I think they've changed the tactical ring a little bit. There's a bit more, it's got a larger diameter. I'll have to compare it with the others later and have a look. Also the bezel, it seems like the bezel, it's kind of made of this gray metal. It could be titanium. A little bit of a closer shot of it. It's a de-domed LED and looks very nice. Never used one of these before, so I'm very curious to see what the beam actually looks like, how it performs. But it kind of looks like it almost looks like an SFT70. Very similar to an SFT70, but I think the performance is going to exceed the SFT70 by a considerable margin. And initially I thought the head of the flashlight might be a little bit too bulky to carry around, but it's actually balanced quite well. Wow. And here you've got that tactical switch on the end. Nice firm sort of feel as well on it. Let's open it up and check out what you get. So I'll just take out this little insulation thing. And the interesting thing about some of these Nextorch flashlights is that the battery actually faces in the opposite way. So the positive terminal faces towards the tail cap. And this is something different. Look at that tail cap. It's very compressed. It's really compressed in there. It's like a new tail cap design. I've never seen that used in any other flashlights before. Hopefully that might reduce the overall resistance. That could be the reason why they've done it. But the battery here, 5,000 milliamp hour, 21700 cell. It's protected, I think. Protected cell. Let me have a look. It doesn't say. Not sure if it's a protected cell or not. But it does have a USB-C charging port on here, which is fantastic. So you don't need to carry around or have your own charger with you. And inside you can see the spring on the head of the flashlight as well. Okay, just underneath where the negative terminal touches. And the great thing about Nextorch flashlights, I've not seen this on other flashlight manufacturers, you've got this double insulated barrel. So there's like a separate tube here, as you can see. And I think that insulates the battery and provides less resistance as well. So amazing design. I'm pretty sure this is titanium, guys. So let's drop in that battery. Previous ones just came with stainless steel, which is pretty good. But I mean, this is really quite an upgrade. Wow, that's really bright. I think that's the normal full mode and then tactical. And I noticed the beam profile has a very distinct hotspot. Got these 3 tactical ring modes and strobe. I'm super pleased with this light. So I'm going to use it for about a week. I'll do some beam shots. I'm going to also do some tests with my light meter, just see how it performs. The lux figures, just to measure its throw. Also test things like the tint of the flashlight, the beam tint, and also the color rendering index. And I'll get back to you with my final thoughts after a week. This is the Nextorch TA30C Max, and I'll put it straight onto turbo. Nice and smooth beam, but it does, look at that throw. And the hotspots nicely blended in with the rest of the beam. You can sort of see the bezel on the edges, but it's not too obvious, especially up close. Hits those trees right up the back there. And we'll show you just a little of the different modes. So we've got, this is the low mode. Still decent enough to reach some of those trees close by. Medium, probably a better mode to have if you're using it long term, for a long time. Not really any heat produced. And then you've got the highest mode there, of course, too, and really bright. It's also a strobe mode, like that. Okay, but that's pretty much it. Alrighty, welcome back. So I want to spend a bit of time talking about my experience in using this flashlight. I've used it for about a week now quite extensively. I think this is going to be important for you to gauge a proper understanding of how the light functions, especially if you're looking to get a tactical flashlight yourself. So stick around and make sure you watch this part of the video. So overall, I have to say this has got to be my favorite of all the Nextorch tactical flashlights. For me, it just ticks every single box that I can think of for a tactical flashlight. And there's this attention to detail, to small details, these little features that I'll go through as well, which I find incredible. So firstly, let's start again with the LED. I did talk a bit about this at the start of the video. You've got that XHP50.3 HI, and Nextorch have opted for a specialized LED in the TA30C Max. It's de-domed and it has greatly improved throw, while still retaining some floody characteristics on the periphery of the beam. You have your standard AR anti-reflective lens here at the front, protecting the LED. But what I find really cool is that they've used a titanium bezel here, and with these 3 little glass breaking ceramic beads in there as well. And the titanium bezel is something I really like because it maintains a lower profile. It's just less reflective than stainless steel, and it's also more durable. I'm always impressed with how Nextorch creates such a low-key and sleek head design. Some subtle cutouts here, but they still have excellent sustained output. So I'll talk a bit more about that later. These little cutouts are also anti-roll. So, of course you have this clip as well, which stops it from rolling. But I do like that it's a bit of a subtle cutout there, but it has a practical feature as well as increasing the surface area. Now, I want to just show you what the UI is like, just a little demonstration. It's a very simple UI. I didn't even have to read the instruction manual on how to use it. So one thing that I really like about this is that you've got this one-step strobe function and also one-step access to full brightness turbo mode. And what you do, you basically just tap that button on the end to access that turbo mode. It's really bright. Just cover that for a second. Okay, and you kind of just tap it, and you'll notice that there is some resistance in there, a little bit of resistance. It stops, and then you press further, and it strobes. So I like this feature because it kind of features. It's like a 2-step switch that makes it really obvious where the second step is, and that way you don't accidentally access strobe. So you don't have to press too hard to get to that second strobe feature. You got to press a little bit harder, but the pressure that you have to apply to access the strobe mode is greater than the pressure to access just the momentary mode on turbo. I'm very impressed with this dual stage switch, and the fact that it's made of aluminium as well. We've got this extra durability. Not only that, but this also doubles as a battery indicator. So it flashes and it has different colors to tell you at what stage the battery has, the battery voltage. So I think that's really good in a tactical flashlight, just knowing and preempting when you might need to charge or replace the battery. And so let me show you how it works. So you've got this ring here, and this is the tactical mode selection ring. So at the moment I've got it on tac mode, as you can see, that little white dot. But if you switch it on to say mode 1, which is on the low mode, and switch it back off, okay, this light will flash at the back. So there's 4 different indicators. So if it's solid blue, it means that the battery is between 75 and 100%. If it's flashy blue like it is now, it means the battery is on 75%, 50 to 75%. If it goes to red, it is then on about 50%. And if it goes to flashy red, 25% and below. So 4 stages, very easy to memorize. I do find as well when you open up the tail switch, take it off and screw it back on, the button also flashes to tell you the voltage of the battery. So I think that's a really good feature, especially if you're just changing different batteries to see which one has enough voltage in it. You have a quick indication of that by just looking at the tail cap. Alrighty, so let's look at the most important part, the performance of the flashlight. So I've got a ceiling bounce test here on the screen, and as you can see, I've activated that light roughly about 5 seconds into the test. It holds its output up into roughly the 1 minute mark before it starts dropping. So it sort of has this weird, comes down a little bit, then goes back up again, and then completely drops from about, just after the 1 minute mark. And at 3 minutes, it holds at about 30% of its output. So I think that's really good performance. I mean, you've got that FL1 standard. As long as that light can hold its full lumens, so have basically sustained output at the 30-second mark, I consider that to be a good, reliable flashlight. Because for me, if you've got a light that says, it's 5,000 lumens, but you only can access those 5,000 lumens in the first second or two, there's really not much point. I mean, it's just really bright and you may not even notice it. So the fact that the TA30C Max can sustain full output for close to a minute, to me, that's quite impressive. So I also did a throw test and I measured 454 meters of throw, which is above the official specs that Nextorch give you at 390 meters. And this is a classic Nextorch move. They always underestimate the throw, and so when you measure it like I do, you're pleasantly surprised. So if you combine this information with the ceiling bounce test information as well, it's easy to see that the light will be able to throw for that 450 meters for nearly a minute, which is quite impressive. That's important for me in any type of flashlight, some kind of sustained output, because if I have that light on, I'm not going to have it on for a few seconds. I might have it on for 30 seconds. I might have it on for 25 seconds, 10 seconds. So, making sure that it can hold up and provide me that maximum visibility for a certain period of time is quite important. 3000 lumens at ANSI standards, so the 30-second mark is impressive for a light of this size, and due to the LED choice and also the orange peel reflector, you get a great balance of throw and flood, really the best of both worlds. So in terms of run times, you got 2 hours 45 minutes on high and 35 hours on low. I've said this before, but Nextorch flashlights, including this one, really feels like I'm using a professional tool. It's perfectly balanced, there's no battery rattle, and there's things like the reinforced battery tube, the double layer battery tube, titanium bezel, we've got that 2-meter shock resistance. Definitely will make this light hard wearing and very practical to use in a variety of situations. Light is actually over-engineered to be suitable for law enforcement and military use. A few considerations you guys might want to be aware of. The Nextorch TA30C Max will only accept non-proprietary button top 21700 cells with extra length. So I actually tried some flat top cells, unprotected flat tops, and they're just too short to make contact with the tail spring. So when you actually open up the flashlight, you'll see that the battery sits flush with the tube, and the spring, I did show this at the start of the video, the spring is kind of flattened down and it's soldered so that the top of the spring kind of connects with the bottom to reduce any resistance. So you're going to need a battery that pretty much fits snug in there, which means you're going to need, again, one of those 21700 cells that have a button top. Luckily, Nextorch do provide an included cell with all their flashlights. You can always buy an extra one off them, it's easier, but there's many suppliers out there that will provide you other button top cells that will fit. Another consideration is that this light definitely feels quite snug in my jeans pocket, and it's probably the largest flashlight that I'll consider carrying on me. Technically, this is not an EDC light though. The way I've seen it marketed is in some kind of holster or in a person's bag, but at the end of the day, it's good to know that you can still fit it in your jeans pocket. I kind of have it clipped on the edge there. It's not too noticeable, but again, with the head size, you can definitely feel it in your pocket. But it is a trade-off, because if you want that extra throw and nice soft beam, large reflectors do that well. All in all, I highly recommend this flashlight if you're looking for a high quality tactile flashlight with all the bells and whistles. It's definitely the one to get. It's got a simple UI, probably the most easiest and intuitive I've used. The overall feel and quality of the flashlight is something I appreciate the most. There's definitely a level of attention to detail in the internal components, such as what I mentioned before, the dual layer battery tube, the electrical insulation that you see near the springs. You've got this unique tail switch design with a battery indicator. You've got this tactical switch ring that allows you to select between the different modes, and this two-step button here in the back as well. Not only that, there's also a spring bypass that's been done on the flashlight as well to decrease the electrical resistance. The titanium bezel, high tensile belt pocket clip here as well. Some of these little things that you only notice in high-end flashlights. If they get these little things right, you know that everything else is going to be perfect. So if you're interested in this flashlight, make sure you check out the link in the description. I've put the Nextorch website there. You can actually have a bit more of a read and find out more, purchase directly from them if you'd like. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to get back to you. There's probably things that I've missed out in this video, so I'd love to hear and also just see what your thoughts are on this flashlight. Let me know down in the comments. If you like this video and you've enjoyed some of my previous ones, I'd really appreciate if you click the like button. That helps me to get my videos out to more people. And if you want to see me keep creating more reviews on flashlights, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Thanks.